Hello there fellow Star Wars nerds and welcome to the channel. In today's video we will be talking about Yoda, easily one of my favorite Jedi. Today we will be talking about why he chose Dagobah to be his planet to hide out on during the Imperial reign. Dagobah is a random planet in the Outer Rim. It has no intelligent beings or cities that we know about. It seems like a pretty decent hideout. However, is this the only reason Yoda chose this planet? Or is there perhaps another, more fascinating reason for this? And even though it's in the middle of nowhere, there's still a chance that Vader or Palpatine might have sensed his presence in the Force. What did he do to solve this problem? Come with me and we will explore the reason that makes Dagobah the perfect hideout. Now, some of this information will be coming from Legends, not canon. So it might not apply to Disney's timeline, but it does apply to the Legends timeline. So if you're like me and you use the Legends timeline, or you don't care and are just interested in hearing a cool story, hopefully you'll enjoy. There are two main events that made Yoda choose Dagobah. Both of them have to do with him visiting the planet and learning a little bit about it. Yoda visited Dagobah 2 times that we know of. The first time was when he was still a young Jedi. He was only about 200 years old. This story comes from Star Wars Tales issue 16 comic. The comic, which came out in 1999, has many different stories in it. Heart of Darkness is the one we will be talking about today. It was written by Paul Lee, who has written several Spider-Man, Aliens, the Hulk, and other Star Wars comics. Now, let's get into the issue. The story takes place 700 years before the Battle of Yavin. The Jedi Council sent a group of Jedi Knights to stop Dark Jedi who were in the Biffashi system. The Jedi's search leads them to the Commerce Guild trading station. In the space station, we see a small green, backwards-talking Jedi named Minch chasing the Dark Jedi. They fight and the Dark Jedi taunts him, calling him a Padawan. He tells Minch that the days of the Jedi are numbered and they will fall eventually. Minch tells the Dark Jedi that they will lose and will be defeated by the Jedi. The Dark Jedi continues to taunt him, calling him little. Suddenly, 4 Jedi rush into the room, telling him to surrender. They question him, asking him where his master is. He stabs himself with a lightsaber, telling them that although the Jedi have won today, he will tell them nothing. They hear an alarm and realize the Dark Jedi is escaping in a ship. They get into their ships and fly after him. The ship starts flying toward a nearby planet, the planet Dagobah. Minch starts flying toward the planet with the rest of the Jedi. They tell him to stand down because his ship is too small. Too small, you think I am? Pursue I will. There is no fear, only courage. They continue to tell him to stand down, however he refuses and continues to fly down towards the planet of Dagobah. On his way down, his ship gets struck by lightning and he crashes on the planet. The scene is very similar to when Luke first arrived on Dagobah in The Empire Strikes Back. After he crashes, he gets out of the ship and assesses the damage. He senses the dark side and realizes the other Dark Jedi who escaped is nearby. After walking further into the jungle, he spots the Dark Jedi and begins to chase him. He follows him into a cave. The Dark Jedi is waiting for him. The Dark Jedi taunts him, calling him a child. "I am not a child," Minch yells as he lunges towards him. "Size matters not." "Size does matter," the large Jedi replies as he grows into a large giant. Minch tells him that he will cut him down. Minch then starts seeing 100 little versions of the Dark Jedi. "You cannot win," one of the little versions says to the Dark Jedi. "If you strike me down, I will become more powerful." They attack him and tell him to turn to the dark side. Minch swings his lightsaber wildly. We then see the Dark Jedi lying on the ground, bleeding. Right before he dies, he tells Minch that he will make a fine addition to the dark side, which obviously we know is not true. Minch walks away from the cave. As he walks away, we see that the Dark Jedi's Force energy drains into the cave. So here we see what happened to the cave and why it's filled with the dark side. It was so full of the dark side that it created a Force nexus. For those of you who don't know, a Force nexus is when an object or place is unusually strong in the Force. Sometimes the Force is embedded into it, like a holocron. In many cases, they can mask the presence of the Force, i.e. the cave Yoda lived next to was filled with the dark side, so Yoda's presence in the Force was masked from the Emperor and Vader. Some have also theorized that Tatooine is a Force nexus as well, which is one of the reasons Obi-Wan is never discovered. I don't know if I agree with it, but it's possible. The second time Yoda went to Dagobah was actually in Season 6 of the Clone Wars. This is where Yoda learned about what happened in the cave. If you've ever seen Season 6 of the Clone Wars, you probably know Yoda goes on an interesting journey. He meets the Wills, the people that taught Qui-Gon how to become a Force ghost. He fights his dark side, literally. He meets a memory projection of Darth Bane, who's played by Mark Hamill. One of the places he went to was Dagobah. Qui-Gon Jinn had been telling him to go there through the Force. If you remember from one of my earlier videos, I talked about how Qui-Gon was unable to show himself to anyone for a long time after he died. This was during that time, so he was only a voice at this point. While there, Yoda comments that the planet is strong with the Force. Now, he doesn't tell Qui-Gon that he has been to the planet before. We'll get to that in a second. Qui-Gon's disembodied voice tells him that this planet is one of the purest places in the galaxy. It's there that Yoda goes into the cave, the same cave he went to all those years ago. In the cave, he saw a terribly tragic vision of the future. He saw the destruction of the Jedi Order, he saw the events of Order 66, and even saw Darth Sidious killing Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, CZ-10, and Agen Kolar. So it's here that Yoda learned about the future and the upcoming events in Order 66. Imagine the implications of a place like this. While Yoda was in exile, Starkiller and Luke Skywalker both used the cave to help them on their journeys. It's a great place to train and learn more about yourself in the Force. Now, some people have wondered whether Minch and Yoda are the same people. After all, in the Clone Wars, he doesn't mention that he's been to Dagobah before. However, this is definitely the same person. Minch is just his first name and Yoda is his last. In the comic, he literally says, "Size matters not." That's a very famous Yoda line. And on top of that, the comic description talks about this being an adventure of young Yoda. As for him not mentioning that he had been to Dagobah before, he probably remembered that he had been to Dagobah before. He just didn't feel the need to mention it to Qui-Gon for whatever reason. In the episode, Qui-Gon told him that he existed in a place outside of space and time. So Yoda might have assumed Qui-Gon already knew about Yoda's first adventure in the cave. Also, Yoda had been on so many adventures during his 881 years as a Jedi. So it might not have been super surprising that he would have adventures on planets more than once, even remote ones in the middle of nowhere. Now these are just speculations. The real reason this happened was Dave Filoni and the other writers of the Clone Wars probably didn't read this comic before writing the episode. If any of you guys know the in-universe reason of why Yoda never mentioned that he'd been to Dagobah before, or you just have theories of your own, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your theories. So in summary, Yoda chose this planet because it's an amazing place to train Jedi, the cave is a very useful tool, and most importantly, the cave hides his presence in the Force. So that is why Yoda chose Dagobah to be the planet he hid out on. I love stories like this that help explain certain aspects of Star Wars and help give history to certain things and places in the movies. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you like the comic issue in the Clone Wars episode? Let me know. Feel free to respectfully correct me if I got anything wrong, whether it be facts or dates. I would really appreciate it. Now, if you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you and ask for your help. I'm trying to get this channel monetized, and to do that I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within 1 year. I would love to continue doing this, and if you've enjoyed this video, hopefully you want me to continue making content as well. If so, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out some of my other videos. Thank you, and see you next time.